All right, let's get more on the story now. Joining us is the Director of the Center for Renewable and Sustainable Energy at Stellenbosch University, Professor Sampson Mamphweli, who's also an energy expert. Thanks for your time, Sampson. We appreciate it. So you hear from South Africans, of course, they're not happy about this, but was it really necessary?
Okay, good evening and evening to your viewers. Thank you for having me. Yes, the increase that has been approved by NERSA will hurt South Africans, especially ordinary South Africans in general, but it will also have a severe impact on the economy of the country because it will also have a huge impact on the business side of things, especially the businesses that like the mining sector that does a lot of export. So in most cases, you would know that businesses normally pass this kind of price increases to the consumers. And in certain instances, especially where you're dealing with export markets, where you are competing at international level, it's very difficult to pass those increases to the consumers at international level because you've got other international players that are competing with you. So under those circumstances, the businesses are left with no choice but to kind of scale down on their production and lay off some of their employees or look for alternatives. And in their drive to look for alternatives, there are other consequences as well that have got to do with the economy and hurting the poor in the process.
Let me play devil's advocate here, because some would argue, including Eskom, that it needs more money to keep the lights on, which ultimately protects the economy going forward.
Yes, that's another issue there, because some of us thought that with the new injection, money injection that the finance minister announced in his speech, we won't have this drastic increase. I call it drastic because it's way more than inflation. So once it's above inflation, it becomes a problem. So Eskom should also look into those kind of aspects to say, do we really? Because it's one thing to keep the lights on, and it's another to help the economy. You can't say you want to keep the lights on, but you to protect the economy, but you're still hurting the same economy because you will still have kind of job losses and things like that happening because of the severe kind of price hike. So it's a chicken and egg kind of a situation.
Yeah. Eskom, of course, has a 400 billion rand debt. Do you think these increases will actually help get it out of the mess that it's in? And many would also argue by its own accord through corruption.
I don't think this increases, if we have to rely on the Eskom submission, I don't think these increases will help them a lot in the long run. I think government will have to somehow come in after the 3 years and look at recapitalizing Eskom. And that's when now also the issue of efficiency in their operations come into play. Because they need to be efficient, they need to start generating revenue for them to be sustainable. Government bailouts are not going to make them any sustainable.
Yeah.
And this kind of increases, the challenge with this is that their biggest customers will start to look elsewhere for energy. And once those pull out, especially people in the industry, once those pull out, then it leaves them with less in terms of revenue from electricity sales. So there's quite a lot of ripple effect on that.
So ultimately, if government doesn't intervene, it looks like Eskom will come back in another 3 years asking for more and more money for South Africans.
Yes, that is correct. If government doesn't intervene and ensure that Eskom is run in an efficient manner, in a manner that Eskom will be able to generate enough revenue to run its services, then in the next 3 years, I see them coming back, asking for more bailout, more money from government, or more price increases on their tariffs. Because remember, they asked for 15% increase. They were looking for about close to 50% increase, and they got close to about 23% if we have to factor everything in. So that is still very low in terms of their own models that they've used. So that, coupled with what the finance minister has given them, is not going to make their life any easy.
All right, thank you so much for your time, sir. We do appreciate it. That was Director of the Center for Renewable and Sustainable Energy, Professor Sampson Mamphweli.